Intuition and preparation. In the context of live performing, both are very important. So let's talk about it. Welcome back to Danny Robertson Music, where we try to help you become the best possible performer that you can be on any stage you choose. Become the performer that you're meant to be. I'm Danny Robertson. Thanks for joining me again this week. We're going to have fun today. We're talking about preparation and intuition. Now, the reason I want to talk about this is because of a circumstance that happened to me just this past week. I was asked about filling in for a show where they wanted me to be the bass player for the show. The bass player that the band had asked to fill in for this show came to a practice the week of the show completely unprepared and therefore came off as very unprofessional. The band was so unimpressed that they called me to ask if I could fill in for something that I don't normally play. Now, the gig went off fine. And honestly, I think that's kind of just an unfortunate circumstance. I think that bass player relied a little bit too much on his intuition to work for him, but he showed signs that he had not prepared whatsoever. And that made him come off as unprofessional and untrustworthy to the other members of that band. Now, I do strongly believe that for every show, you need to have a little bit of practice in ahead of time. You also need to have a little bit of that ability to kind of work on the fly and make changes as something surprises everyone. Since both preparation and intuition are important, let's take a look at 3 reasons why it's important to have a little bit of each. The first reason why it's important to prepare for every show is consistency. The more you practice and the more you prepare the music that you play and the way you speak to the crowd, the more you're going to be able to do that without thinking about it. You're going to not have to look down at your instrument, look down at your music. You're just going to be able to play because it becomes second nature. When you become consistent, it becomes easy to deliver a high quality performance. And that makes your show look that much better to your audience. It makes it sound good. It makes it look good because you're entertaining instead of looking down at your sheet music. Consistency helps you level up to a certain amount of excellence in your show. Hey performers, we'll get back to the video in just a hot second here, but I wanted to talk with you really quickly about your performance journey. Now, if you haven't noticed yet, at DannyRobertsonMusic.com, what we're trying to do is help you become a better overall entertainer. Whether that means getting better at your instrument, becoming a better public speaker, and becoming more entertaining for your audience to watch and participate with. We're trying to teach you how to do that better. If you're interested in diving deeper into this journey, I want to give you a free gift. I have a course out there called The Performer's Triangle, and it teaches you the basics about the pieces that you need in a great performance. It's available to you for free at the link below, and all you've got to do is put in your name and email, and we'll send you a link to it, okay? Let's work on making you into the best possible performer that you can be. Now let's get back to the video. Secondly, being prepared helps give you confidence. When you know your show like the back of your hand because you've practiced it over and over again, it helps bring up that level of confidence. You know you can play these parts. You know you can sing these songs. You know these lyrics, which helps you do something else. It allows you to focus on making a better connection with your audience. You have the confidence to do that, and therefore you're going to actually put out a better show. The third and most important reason that I want to bring up preparation is because preparedness is a sign of professionalism. It's like if you were to go to a gig and forget to bring your instrument. That shows that you don't know what the heck you're doing. The other musicians and performers probably don't trust you, which means they probably won't hire you. You won't get to do as many shows if you don't show up as a professional every single time. It shows that you care about putting on the best possible show that you can. If you can't do that, you're going to struggle to get gigs playing live music in the first place. So now let's talk about intuition. Now, intuition, at its core for musicians and performers, is the ability to sense what's going on around you, like, seeing things and hearing things, and being able to adapt to changes that you're not expecting and you have not prepared for. Let me give you two quick examples of ones that I had this past weekend. Like I've said, I am not a bass player, and typically, if I was filling in for this band, I would be playing keyboards. So I knew all of the keyboard parts, but I did not instinctively know all of the bass parts. I had only been asked to fill in on bass on this gig 12 hours before the gig actually started. So I did not have time to figure out a lot of those licks. I had to be intuitive in a couple of key places. One of those places was during the song Groove is in the Heart. I was able to hear the guitar player playing it, listen, try to figure out where we were in the mix, and I was able to jump in on the bass line very quickly because I was able to use my instincts to do it. So it ended up being, that ends up being not that hard of a line, but it took me a second to actually hear it and play it. Another one that happens with this band during a lot of their shows is they do a lot of movement on stage that's not necessarily choreographed, but several of the frontline people will do the same move together. So there was one point in the show where the three people beside me on the front line started going just back and forth, and I just happened to look over and see it. So instinctively, I went in and jumped in and started doing the move with them, even though I didn't know that's what they were going to do. So the first reason it's important to be intuitive on stage is that you have to be able to solve problems. Kind of like I was talking about with that bass line, I didn't necessarily know what I was doing right there, and I needed to figure it out on the spot. If you have an unexpected issue, it allows you to handle it gracefully. Another example of this might be if a guitar player breaks a guitar string. Does the rest of the band just stop playing? No. You have to learn to make it work and move forward and make it seem like that's not even a problem. So speaking of problem solving, we actually found a technical glitch on several portions of the last video, and we didn't have any audio on it. So we're redoing the last portion of this video for you now, several weeks later and after we've done an update to our studio. The second reason why you need intuition on stage is because you need to be able to be adaptable and spontaneous. When you're adaptable, you can handle unexpected changes to your show. Like broken guitar strings, technical glitches like audio issues like I had this time, or even something as simple as somebody coming up on stage to join your show for a period of time. The reason you need spontaneity is because there are going to be points in your show where you can be creative and take an opportunity to make your show something special to remember. I know I mentioned this one previously in another video. I played a show this summer where a good half of the bridal party that was attending a wedding was from Canada, and we were able to throw in the Canadian national anthem. Just to make that show unique for that audience. When you're intuitive, you can pay attention to those creative opportunities and take advantage of them. Make your show unique every time you go out and play it. The third and final reason to be intuitive in your shows is because you want to take those opportunities to make an emotional connection with your audience. Being intuitive means paying attention to what your audience is giving you during the show. It means listening to what they're yelling out. It means paying attention to what they're dancing to, what they're singing along to. You're going to get cues from your fans to tell you what kind of show you should be playing for them. It'll help create a better, closer emotional connection between you and your fans. That's it for this week. Which one of these two do you think you do more? Do you do more preparation for your shows, or do you practice intuition? Or are you something in between the two? Leave me a comment if you have any thoughts on that. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your week. Have a great next performance, and I'll see you soon. Take care.